Before we get into the rant, I'd like to welcome back our special guest, Kevin McAllister. Hi. I know it's not Christmas, but I'm so glad to be back, despite the film that we're reviewing today. Hi, Kevin. Anyways, let's get on with the rant, shall we? This is probably the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen in my life. I was just overall confused watching this entire thing. I do not blame you at all, Big Scary Dragon. This film for sure has a lot of plot holes. Therefore, it's very questionable. It's not just questionable, but it's also an insult to the whole franchise. So, here's the plot of this film. Kevin's parents, Peter and Kate, are now divorced for some stupid reason. Because Peter now has a new girlfriend named Natalie, who is this rich woman who lives in a mansion, and they are planning for marriage. Is this what marriage is like? Because if it is, I want no part of it.
Right. So, after Peter and Kate got separated, Kevin was having some hard times thinking that Christmas would never be the same without his father with them, and stuff. But then, Peter came by for a visit and he offered Kevin and his siblings to spend Christmas time with him in Natalie's mansion, without Kate.
Which he did decline at first, but then he changed his mind after he keeps getting bullied by Buzz. If you can call this guy Buzz. But then he gets into yet another problem involving burglars. Yeah, and one of them is Marv, who came back. Sort of. And instead of Harry, Marv apparently has a wife, named Vera. Yeah. Right, so that's the plot of the film. Now, where do we begin with how bad this movie is?
Allow me to start, if you please. So, this movie, unlike the third film, brought back the McAllisters, as well as Marv. Except, all of them got recasted, and let me tell you, all of the recastings that we got here are terrible, because they look and acted nothing like the original actors.
Yeah, especially Marv. Like, the guy who played him, French Stewart, he looks nothing like Daniel Stern at all. Acted nothing like him either. And not to mention, the way he's dressed as well, he looks more like Harry than Marv. Fun fact, however, Daniel Stern was actually offered to play this character again for this film, but guess what? He declined. Because he hated the script, and even he called it an insult to the franchise. And yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah, he really dodged a bullet on that one, didn't he?
Sure did. Now, when it comes to Kevin himself, oh my gosh. This is literally the worst characterization of Kevin I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and no offense to the kid who played him in this film, but this kid is not me. And he will never be me. I absolutely agree. I mean, I don't remember Kevin McAllister ever laughing like a total maniac. At least, not the Kevin I grew up with, being you, of course. Thanks. There's also a big plot hole when it comes to Kevin's age, because in the first film he's 8 years old, and in the second film he's 10, although to be fair, that didn't really make sense either, because the second film took place a year after the first film, so that was one issue I have with the second film, but that's for a different review. In this film, however, he's 9. Even though this movie is supposed to be a sequel, he went from 10 to 9. What? Has nobody ever learned that you can't age in reverse? Not even Kevin can stay a kid forever. I feel like it would make a lot better sense if I was either 10 or 12. Same problem goes for Kevin's siblings, Buzz and Megan, especially Buzz. Because you can clearly tell that Buzz was getting older in the second film. But in this film, he's somehow younger again. Yeah, that was weird. But then again, let's be real. All of them are miscasts. Even the parents. Yeah, like, the actress who played Kate, for example, do they seriously think she could ever nail the iconic... like the way Catherine O'Hara did it? Because I don't think so. No, I don't think she could. I miss you, Mom. I'll never forget you. Oh, Right. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. I also wasn't a fan of most of the new characters. Vera, for example. I thought she was absolutely obnoxious. And Natalie, I wasn't a fan of her either. But I will say her house looks pretty cool, as well as the features that it has. I'll give her that. We also have this character named Molly, who seemed like a nice person at first, but then she turned out to be the main antagonist, and apparently Marv's mother. Supposedly, it's a plot twist, but not very well handled. Yeah, and at first Kevin thought it was Prescott, the butler, who was in charge of Marv and Vera's attempted kidnapping, but it turned out to be Molly. Speaking of Prescott, I don't know about you guys, but to me, he was the best part of this film. He was the only character in this film who was actually likable. I agree. And he deserves a lot better than being mistreated by Kevin, thinking that he's some kind of bad guy, when in reality he's just a guy who hates his job and he wants a break. For the record, whoever that Kevin is, it is not me. Okay then, fake Kevin. That's better.
Also, this movie not only has a bunch of plot holes, it also has some false advertising as well. For example, the title Home Alone is very inaccurate because Kevin was not home alone. He never was throughout the film.
Yeah, because throughout most of the film, he was in this house with his father and his stepmother-ish. And also, Prescott and Molly were there. Yeah, he definitely was not home alone. Also, this film takes place in Chicago. Well, at least it's supposed to. But apparently, the movie was filmed in South Africa, even though I'm pretty sure Chicago is a place in America. Yeah, that was very questionable. I mean, is it that expensive to film a movie in America? Is the budget for this film that low?
Well, then again, this movie is made for television, not cinemas, so wouldn't be surprised.
That's just sad. Another thing, too. Whenever fake Kevin, tries to warn everyone about the burglars, no one believes him, not even his own father, who thinks that he was only trying to tear his relationship with Natalie apart. But the thing is, there is literal evidence that he was telling the truth. I mean, how would they explain the broken window that they could easily spot? Yeah, like what? Did they think fake Kevin would just run through the window and try to hurt himself? Because if that's what they think, how would they explain the fact that he has 0 injuries, let alone ended up in a hospital? I would definitely not do that. And one more thing, the traps. Because the Home Alone movies are popular because of the traps. Because, slapstick comedy. But the way they did it here, it is not funny at all. Nor creative.
I agree. The traps in the first 2 films were hilarious. And even though I don't really like the third film that much, at least the traps in that movie were handled a lot better than whatever they did here.
Yeah, because what they did here, they're not even traps. They're just, I don't know what they are, but it's just so boring and lame and just not funny at all. Where's the funny part? I don't get it. Oh, and before we end off this video, there's one more thing we forgot to mention. What's that? After fake Kevin's parents are now back together, well, let's just say, apparently fake Kevin knows how to control the weather. Oh yeah. I honestly forgot about that part. Anyways, that'll be it for this review. I'm rating this film a 0 out of 10. And now let's just find out what movie we're going to review next. The next movie we'll be reviewing is... The Marvels. Okay, I'm just going to say this. Even though, according to a lot of people, that film will probably be bad, but I am hoping that it will be better than Home Alone 4. That's what I'm hoping for. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. But if you like this channel, please subscribe. See you next time.